Good morning, everyone. We're calling the meeting to order. It's Tuesday, October 1st, 2025, and it's 9 a.m. See, do I need approval of the minutes for Tuesday, August 19, 2025? Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion has been moved and approved. We also have the minutes for Tuesday, September 16, 2025. Do I have a motion?
All motion.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion has been moved and approved. All right, public comment. Do we have anybody on public comment? Anybody on Zoom? Nope. Okay, let's move on to action items. And we don't have any utility relief, so let's move on to Karen. Okay, public works steps.
Good news is, and thank you for coming to the council meeting. We got the approval to proceed with the water master plan. So Windsor is getting everything ready to send that to Oregon Health Authority for their review. If they send back comments, we discuss what their comments are, make modifications, and or if they approve it right away, then we bring it back to council for their adoption. So, we're estimating maybe 2 to 3 months for OHA to turn around. And so I would say in the early part of next year, my replacement will be taking it back to council to adopt, vote officially and adopt it. So all's going well with that. The wastewater master plans are in progress and going well. We are writing O&M manuals right now for each of the pump stations. Just to kind of have that documentation for each of those. We don't have formal O&M plans. We haven't had a number of years. We have miscellaneous documents about how the generator works and control panel works, but we're putting together a comprehensive O&M manual for each of those. So Windsor is also working on that, which is helping them work through the master plans on items that we want to queue up for potential projects that we'll be talking to you guys about. And for the reservoir site for the water resiliency project, and Jim, we need to get you up there at your convenience. We'll work you in.
Okay.
I think, Trevor, you have a picture you can toss up there. I want to show you guys what it looks like at this stage right now. They're really moving and grooving up there. Things are on schedule, thank goodness, and we're getting piece parts, if you will, for the backbone project as well as the tank site. Let's see here.
See if I can share this along.
Yeah. And the back there is. So you can see they're really going for it. Where the green, where the orange, erosion control fencing is, that's the side that really drops off where they were building that retaining wall that we were telling you guys back the last couple of meetings. And that was a unbelievable undertaking. That's done now, and so they were actually pouring concrete last week. Show that, there you go, I was gonna say. Around those deals, go ahead, Trevor, go ahead and talk to them about how many of those are out there.
It's about 350 geopairs that are.
Yeah, the geopairs. It's all really foundational work in preparation of actually starting to pour the tank itself, so.
Yeah,
So just getting that site ready was,
That's good.
the progress is amazing, very organized. Trevor was up yesterday looking at how the drainage and everything.
right now they're doing 1 foot of drain rock. And then they're gonna put another membrane layer down, and then there's another foot, 3/4 minus compacted, and then they're at elevation. And then they're gonna start building the floor for the tank. So we're about 2 feet away from final.
Yeah,
Humongous.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty special.
Amazing, just the site prep that had to take place, if it was like the PD and City Hall on steroids, you know, because up there it's so different. It's not flat ground, either is PD, but relatively.
We're anticipating November 13th or 14th for the floor of the tank.
And then, once that's done, you'll start doing that wrapping of the,
They'll start building the walls themselves, the concrete walls, and then they'll do the roof, and then they'll start wrapping.
okay, so wrapping it, that,
All the forms for the tank, the walls are on site,
mhm,
they just, they have to put a floor down first.
Yeah.
And start doing that,
well,
pretty exciting.
Last week on semi flatbed, and you could see the curve and then said, okay, that's for the tank. You know, a lot of the contractors stayed there, truck there by the Pacific Power. Power grid right there, and so I'm watching the guys, we had a forklift, they just get ready to take stuff off, and I couldn't see the markings on the truck as I came out of the public works yard. But I'm looking at the forms and I said, okay, that's not for our house. Those are ours. Those are ours. So, that truck was loaded with them and they took them all up on the hill, so. Yeah, they're moving along. Anyway, so that's phase 3A, backbone, as you know, we got the approval, so the bid has been issued. And so it's out there publicly, all the contractors have been given a heads up that it's out there, and, it'll be out there for approximately a month. To give everybody, for us to get a good audience of, bid responders, gotta give them time, this is a really busy time of the year where they're trying to respond to bids to queue up their spring work. So we just have to give them enough time to respond. And so we'll keep posted as that's, developing and what we're seeing as far as bids coming in and whatnot. A lot of them wait till the very last minute to start submitting their stuff before the opening. But all is well there. Let's say, obviously, our phase 2 is finished, so it's just paperwork wrap up right now with our business Oregon loan. We have a bid out or getting the bid ready to go out for the second half of, Haystack Heights, water project, where we're replacing a line on, Coho and East Chinook and adding those fire hydrants up there that were identified in the master plan. And, this year's gonna be, OSU, Oregon State University, has developed a procurement. That they basically are designed to help municipalities with all their, contract management. We didn't even know they existed, they came and told us about them and kind of what their process is, how it works. Ensure us that everything meets the state procurement, rules and guidelines. And, so we wanted to test that process with a project that was pretty straightforward, relatively simple. And we decided the second half of Haystack would be a good one. So they came and did the walk of the site. And they put that out to their pool of contractors that are held to a certain price point under OSU's, contract agreement for the whole, works for the whole state of Oregon. And so they'll be giving us a, estimated construction pricing back. I'd say within the next week, maybe 9 days, so. And so we'll see how that comes in. We're hoping, that we have enough of an approved budget to do that. Otherwise, we'll have to press the pause button, come back to council and say, here's where we're short. We don't expect that to happen. We've gotten a couple of construction estimates when we were doing phase 1 of what phase 2 would look like. And so we feel like we're gonna have enough on the table. Like I say, it's pretty straightforward. The biggest challenge for that phase will be for them to coordinate access for homeowners to get in and out of their driveways while that construction is going on. But walking the site and talking to them, they said they didn't think they would have any issues with that. So we'll see how this process works. We're kind of anxious to To kind of give that a run, potentially saves the city a lot of money because we're not spending all the expenses. They get paid through those contractor pricing, and the contractors would make their money based on volume over the whole state. And so it's, I have no idea the university had, put this group together, but if it works as well as it appears it's going to, this will be a great thing for the city going forward. So that's, Haystack Heights,
May I ask a question? Are there other cities you can talk to that have used this process to see what their,
good question. I reached out to the other North Coast, Public Works directors, and they had not heard of them. So before I had the Zoom call with them, I put an invite out to the Public Works directors and said, hey, jump on this call, because if this is as good as it sounds, this is gonna benefit all of us, and we're all struggling. None of us have contract admin, there's one staff, so the directors are trying to be that in addition to doing their jobs. And so this could be a blessing for all of us. So some of them jumped on the call. Rockaway is using them for a project they have going on. And then, of course, we have this one, and the rest of them are kind of figuring out what projects they're gonna have in their budget that they think this would be a good trial for them.
And what's the name of the program?
Gordian,
specifically?
Gortian is the company that is formed by OSU. I'll send you guys a copy of their presentation they gave us.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Yeah,
It's a really, really good
I
idea.
was pretty impressed. They were very organized. They have some very knowledgeable folks on their staff, just as construction projects as a whole. They're obviously very versed on public works. I mean, that's their main focus. And, so we're gonna see how it goes, but yeah, it's, I guess, just to say, it's too big to be true.
Yeah.
And so I was very brief, and he actually approached one of our budget committee members and said, how do I get in to meet with this gal? You know, because I had kind of blown them off the first time or two he called me, I just thought it was another sales call, and I get hundreds of those a month. And, it wasn't all that, it was, they were a procurement group, contract procurement group. So I just couldn't figure out how they were making their money, and so once we had the call and they went through the whole thing, I thought, okay, this is really great, it really works, so we're approaching with apprehensive, just so far I've checked all the boxes and,
give them a small project?
yeah, project, I ran it by the city's attorney and said, how close is this? You see anything I'm not seeing? Because I didn't even know these guys existed, you know? And the budget committee person reached out and said, hey, we talked to this guy, we could potentially save the city a lot of money. So they all said. no.
So if I understand correctly, then they get, this Gordian group gets a small slice of whatever the contractor's fee.
They do, so that's how they get paid, is through the contractor, so they're, like a consortium of contractors. That they both, Gordian opened this up, or the university opened this up to anybody in the state wanting to bid on, so even our local contractors can bid on it. The challenge for a local contractor is they can't pick and choose the jobs they want to bid on. Gordian puts it out, they've got to be responsive to the bids. And so that means they may be driving from who knows where, maybe Salem, Eugene, or it's statewide, right? They can't just say, I want to do the North Coast. So it's really geared for contractors that are like spread out across the state, and they make their money because they're guaranteed volume per year. And so, and I use that word guarantee, I should say that. They make their money knowing the volume that is potential across the state. And so someone large, like a Big River or somebody like that, that has locations everywhere, the waiting time is not an issue. They're pretty close by. They're within an hour or so of whoever you're getting. And so, but those contractors, if they don't have resources when these bids come out, they can subcontract. So when they asked us who we work with locally, we gave them, of course, our local contractors that have been, so they're pretty much the only ones that respond to our bids on the North Coast. So those contractors have an option to subcontract to them. But they're still held to the pricing under OSU's pricing structure. And so It'll be interesting to see what kind of response we get over the next week or so. And, then the city's contract is actually with OSU. It's not with Gordian. They're just running this for the university, but our contract for this project would be with the university. Yeah. So, good, has great potential.
Upside.
And, so we'll see how that goes and keep you posted. Bruce announced my, replacement. It's Chris Mastro-Dreas. He's from Arch Cape. Amazing guy. Buckle up, he's full of energy, just like me. He's a hard charger, very knowledgeable of construction projects. He's been involved in many projects, Manzanita City Hall, the Nehalem Medical Clinic that just opened up, the expansion they did down there. He's involved in the Tillamook Hospital project and many others. So he's managed some really large construction projects. I think his only learning curve is just to get his arms around how our actual wastewater plant runs and operates, and our water system. He knows its own gravity. He's got an overall knowledge. He was on the Arch Cape Water Board district down there, and so he's familiar with how Arch Cape plant works. It's similar to ours. So he has an overall knowledge, and but that's about the way I came in. So I don't see any issue with him hitting the ground running at all. He'll be here the 10th of November. So I look forward to introducing him to you guys in the November meeting. And do what you always do and give him a lot of support if you have me. I appreciate that.
Will you tell us his last name again?
I'm gonna spell it for you first.
That's even better.
It's Mastrodreas. Mastrodreas. Bruce is much better at it than I am. I'm getting better. I slowed him at first, but
I broke it into 3 words, mass, ran, Drake.
Mastrodreas. So the T is silent.
No, I'm sorry,
Yeah. No, that's you. Faster and curious. When he said it to me over the phone, I said, okay, slow down, give me that by syllables. I'm a phonics girl. I wrote it down. I said, okay, I can do this. So anyway, great guy. Looking forward to that. And,
He starts the 10th.
the 10th of November.
Okay.
Mhm. And so we'll do a transition with each other. And, yeah, I think he'd be a quick study and, you guys will look forward to working with him.
You're leaving some big shoes to fill.
You guys won't, you'll say, "Karen, who?" Other than seeing me around town, you'll know. Anyway, that's pretty much state of the public works. Any questions on projects I haven't updated you on? The old school, there's an upcoming, meeting with council and the Parks Committee, a joint meeting. I think it is, the 28th.
Yep.
If you guys want to keep up with that project and give input to it, please do so, before the 28th. Give your input, listen in to the meeting, show up, give comments, whatever. They're attempting to try to get that restarted and decide what it is, the community wants to do with that site, since it failed on the ballot measure. So it's a little bit of a start over. So input is good. I think Public Works Committee would be a good one to.
When is that meeting?
It's
20th.
Tuesday the 28th. They all start at 6 o'clock and this is, yeah, 6 o'clock. So, yeah, think about listening in at least on that, you know, initially give your input, but it'd be a good project to keep up on. Any questions? Any projects I haven't updated you on? Or anything I left off with this? We got a lot of motion right now. The bridge, you know, the latest and the greatest, and the Televana vehicle ramp. They're still working through the engineering process. I'm gonna have a meeting to transition that project to Chris, so he's up to date on where we are with that. That's a slow process while they're in the engineering process, but once they get that to, you know, close to a engineering complete, I would say maybe 75 or 80%. Then we'll start working with OPRD to get our permits geared up and ready. I got Surf Rider involved in the vehicle ramp since there's a riprap entrance to the ocean shore. And people are not excited about riprap, but if this is gonna be a military prop spot, the military expects certain conditions of that site for it to be viable as a drop spot for us for supplies. So it's gonna be a balance of appeasing both audiences there. And so we'll work, keep that cross-functional team in place that we have and keep working towards that. We just have to get close enough on the engineering so that they can see what they're permitting. Okay, last call.
Yes, okay, that please, Karen, all right. We are moving to good of the order. Does anybody have anything for good of the order? I do. I do. So there's a lecture at the History Center this Thursday at 4 o'clock. Bridge you cover fires, I think it is, it's put up by the fire marshal. And then November 4th, blood drive. Here, at the chamber. So that is all I have. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
All motion?
Second.